Hello everyone, I'm back with another video. You know, I get caught up in watching everyone else's videos and then I'm like, oh yeah, I just started a channel, I need to like make a video. So this is gonna be all about statements and the importance of them, because I feel like no one talks about that, and that is a crucial thing that you kind of hear about. Oh, your statement is ready, or check out your statement, they send you the email and all that, and you never really think about how important it is. And the reason why I say that is because everyone always says, oh, pay your bills on time, pay your bills on time, but that's like doing homework and not getting credit for it if you are paying it and you're not paying it before the statement date closes. So the reason why I want to do this video, because that is the crucial thing that I was missing. Like a recipe, there's always that one ingredient that without it, it just doesn't taste the same. It is the exact issue with statement closing dates. And the reason why I feel like it's so crucial, especially for those on like lower incomes and that they don't really have a high budget, that it's so crucial. Because okay, so I'll give you a perfect example. When you're budgeting, and especially for these minimum spends and all of that, when you're trying to make a minimum spend for a credit card to be able to get bonus points, the crucial part is how to make the minimum spend without overspending. So what ends up happening is you're trying to figure out how to balance all of it without spending more money. So use your credit card for the things you already were going to pay for. So your Sprint bill, some people do their rent by using plastic and other services like that. I didn't do that, but I switched over my car insurance and my internet, my AT&T bill for my internet. And I don't have cable, but I'm sure if you have cable you could do that too. Anything that you could purchase with a credit card, I would switch over and I would pay all of those with the credit card and then pay the credit card off. However, if you do that and your bill, okay, so I actually have a screenshot here, so I'm going to show you. This is from my American Express. I kind of have it zoomed in, so we're going to try to get this to focus. Okay, so you see there where it says closing and it has a date. That is the most crucial date, okay? Next to your due date, that is the most crucial date. Okay, so let me break it down. I'm sure pretty much all of you know this, especially if you're proficient with credit cards, but it is such a key thing when you are budgeting. Now, if you have money and you have income coming in every single week or every 2 weeks from your job and you're paying your bills off and prepaying and doing all that, the statement date won't matter as much. But if you are watching everything and you need for that statement to show the lowest balance possible, you're going to need to know which date it is that the credit card company sends that information over to the credit bureaus. That's why that date is so crucial, because that is the snapshot photo of what your credit card balance was and all of it, everything that was going on with your credit card, whatever was going on that date. So March 11th is my next statement date. Okay, so on March 11th, when that statement comes out, so it's not, the statement is of that day. So you have to think of it that way. So it's of what your balance was or what the state of your credit card was on that day. So whatever happened before or whatever happens after doesn't necessarily matter, in the sense of, if let's say for instance, okay, so my due date is on March 5th. So my bill is actually due March 5th. However, my statement comes out March 11th. So let's say I pay my bill in full on March 5th, but then once that statement posts, and then let's say after March 5th, I spend again, because I'm like, oh, okay, I made my payment, now I need to use this money. Because that's when you're on a more fixed, or let's say you're on a fixed budget, like a fixed income. Let's say you're on a fixed income, or whatever the case may be, is maybe you need that money even though you've paid it off in full. Good job. But let's say you need that money. Now what'll happen is it was like you never paid that bill, because if you use that credit card from the 6th after the bill was due, so let's say you paid it on the 5th, on the 6th, let's say something comes up and you need to use that credit card. So let's say you use pretty much all of that you just paid. Let's just say, for instance, let's say you made a $500 payment, and then you spent, even if you spent $400 of it or $250 of it, any amount that you spent, it negates the whole entire purpose of paying your bill, because on the 11th they're going to show your balance being that, let's say for instance your credit limit is $1,000. You paid it off to almost zero, to like 1%, right? Let's just say you paid it off all the way and there was only a $10 balance on it. So let's say after it's due on the 5th, let's say on the 6th something comes up and you need to use that credit card and you use it. So if you don't pay it off again before the statement date, it's gonna show that you spent that $400 back on your credit card. So even though you paid it in full, that window in between can mess you up, especially if you were on a limited budget. So now we've reached the 11th. Now once the 11th hits and they take that snapshot and they prepare your statement and they send it off to the credit bureaus, on the 12th you can do whatever you want. So I would say from the 5th to the 11th, or whatever your due date and your statement closing date is. So everyone's is different. I don't know how it's determined, but you definitely need to find that information, and you need to know when that statement closing date is. So what I would suggest, and this is how I do it, I don't touch that credit card from the due date to the statement closing date. Now, yeah, pay your cards off in full, but make sure it's with that statement date. So you got to make sure you pay it off and leave it so that that statement can reflect all of your hard work. Otherwise, it's for nothing. So that was just my little public service announcement, as SEBI likes to do. He was doing his PSAs, but I really wanted to just reiterate that, because seriously, that changed my life. Like, really being honed in and focused on that statement date has changed everything, because now I know I have to make sure that I have the money to cover everything, and that I leave it, let the statement date pass, and then I use it again. Now, I don't know if anybody else, balances their cards like that, but that's just, how I do it, because I only have a finite amount of money. And when you're running a business, it's just kind of like money comes very sporadic. Like, you never know when somebody is going to order. Like, I had 3 orders this weekend, and then last weekend I had no orders. So you just never know. Until I really got into this credit card stuff and I started talking to people about it, that's when I found out how many people did not know about the statement. Like, there was so many people that just did not have a clue about that they need to be concerned about when their statement date was. I kind of starting to figure out that's what the problem is. Like, I'm noticing if people are saying they're not really getting anywhere in their credit card journey of trying to, improve their score and things like that, I would say that's the number one reason, because credit utilization has such a high percentage of your score tied up in it. So anyway, that's all and that I have to say about that. I'm pretty sure, let's hope. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.